Okay, so coming off the ending of the last chapter, we saw Asta get slashed by Lucius after turning Sister Lily into a true human. Then in the beginning of this chapter, it opens up with Asta falling onto the roof nearby, and even though he's pretty heavily wounded, we see that he's still not giving up the fight just yet, which is something we can pretty much expect from Asta at this point. No matter how damn she is, he's going to try to get back up if he can. But Lucius tells him that it's not necessary for him to even try anymore because within a few minutes, he'll end up being dead, and he means that based on what we see at the end of the chapter. Now, at this moment, this is when we actually see Noelle, Nero, and Mimosa finally decide to jump in. And even though Noelle throws one of her most powerful attacks at Lucius, Sister Lily is actually able to counter it pretty easily by using one of those spatial rooms that we saw Xenon using in the last arc that gives him complete control over the mana inside of it. And then this is when Lucius actually explains exactly what he did to her. Basically, what he did was he took Beelzebub's soul, which he had purified, and implanted it inside her body, giving her the ability to use his magic, and also letting him somewhat mind control her into believing that he's actually right in everything he's doing. Now, he says that he actually went into the underworld and purified all the other remaining Supreme Devils, along with some lower devils as well, and he plans on doing the same thing he did to Sister Lily to every other human in the world, basically taking the purified devil souls and implanting them in their body. And just like how Aizen had the Espada and Bleach, Lucius says that Sister Lily is actually going to be the first one of his paladins, which from what I hear from other people, there are supposed to be 12 total in Christianity. So that means there's going to be 11 other characters who are going to end up being converted into true humans slash paladins by being implanted with the Supreme Devil Souls that he purified. And I'm planning on making another video, hopefully coming out before the next chapter does, going over who I think should become the next paladins. But I do have one question when it comes to the whole purified devil souls when it comes to the Supreme Devils. What happened to Adramelic? Because we saw back before the time skip that he was actually working alongside Lucius in this plan of, I guess, doing all this. So is Adramelic still the only Supreme Devil that's left alive, or did he purify him as well and is planning on implanting his soul into someone else as well? That's a big question because we haven't seen Adramelic since the ending of chapter 331. So there's a chance that he might still be alive, but also there's a possibility that he could be dead as well. It's kind of 50-50 at this point. And then after he's done the speech, we see Sister Lily going to land the finishing blow on Asta, and we see multiple times throughout the chapter that Noelle tries to convince her and wake her up from what's going on by saying that she's Asta's, and she never actually finishes the sentence, but also she's going to say, you know, first love or most important person, something like that. But Sister Lily, because she's brainwashed, doesn't really care, or, you know, she's sympathetic to Asta, but because she truly believes in Lucius right now because of the brainwashing he put on her, she doesn't really care about anything that Noelle's saying, so Noelle never manages to convince her. And we see both Mimosa and Nero actually try to go in to save Asta at the last minute, but before they can, they get stopped by Sister Lily again, and this is when we actually get to see her basically land the finishing blow on Asta by apparently vaporizing him or teleporting him away. I'm going to go with teleporting just because she has spatial magic right now, but it's not exactly clear what happened to him at the end of the chapter. Now, I mean, obviously, Asta's not dead, he's the main character, he's the protagonist, so he's eventually going to come back near the end of the series in order to be the one to fight off against Lucius, because he has to be the one to actually defeat him. But it does bring up the question of what happened to him in this moment. Now, I said in my last review that basically I think that the reason why Tabata chose to use Reikon as a word for soul when referring to Lucius' magic instead of Tamashi is because of the word's connection to Japanese Buddhism, where in Japanese Buddhism, the soul slash Reikon is sent to purgatory when it leaves the body in order to basically be held there until funeral rites are performed for that person, and then they get to ascend to heaven. But I think the reason why Tabata is basically using that is because instead of sending Asta to hell or killing him in this chapter, his soul or his body was sent to purgatory, and that's where he's going to be for the next few chapters until they can find a way to basically rescue him and bring him back to the human world. Now, honestly, Lucius wasn't the one who killed him, so it might not exactly connect because of the fact that it's not him using his soul magic slash Reikon in order to basically kill Asta and send him there, but there has to be a connection there. There has to be a reason why he's using that word Reikon instead of Tamashi. And there's a pretty good reason why I think Tabata chose to send Asta to Purgatory. Remember in Bleach, before Aizen and Ichigo had their final fight, we saw Ichigo in that subdimension with his dad, training on how to use his true power? I think Tabata's planning on doing the same thing with Asta, where he's stuck in Purgatory, but instead of just waiting around to be rescued, he's going to be training on how to get stronger in order to defeat Lucius. But here's the thing though, Asta's not a character who can get stronger by himself. He can achieve power greatly by training, but he needs to be taught on how to get to that power. And I think the perfect teacher right now, not only to teach Asta how to get stronger, but also give him more information about Lucius and his backstory, would be Julius. I mean, we know that Lucius claims that he killed Julius, but what if he didn't actually kill him? What if he sent his soul down to Purgatory and he's just not aware that he did that? That could be an aspect of his magic that he's not aware that actually happened. And if Julius' soul is in Purgatory, whatever method they use to save Asta from there, they could also end up using on him at the end of the series once they defeat Lucius. And then, of course, at the end of the chapter, after Asta's already been quote-unquote killed off, this is when the captains finally make their appearance. It was actually kind of interesting seeing everyone's reaction to Lucius because of his, you know, striking resemblance to Julius. And it's actually kind of interesting that William's the first one to kind of mention that, but we actually get to see Yami's reaction the most out of everyone else, and honestly, Yami's going to be the one who's the most devastated and the most betrayed by all of this, because of the fact that, obviously, Joyce was his mentor. Joyce was to him what he is to Asta. So, of course, he's going to have the biggest reaction to all of this, and I'm actually kind of calling it now. Near the end of the arc, when we get to like the final battles, I think he's going to be the one to actually prime up Lucius for Asta. Not be defeated by him, but I think he's actually going to be the one who actually takes down Lucius in his like current form, in the true form that we see him in right now. And then eventually, after he defeats that form, we're going to see that Lucius has another transformation that he's going to pull out, and then him and Asta are going to either team up, or Asta's going to be the one to take him down in that form alone. And then at the very end of the chapter, Lucius tells everyone there that he knows they're going to try to stop him, but it's pointless, and that Judgment Day is coming in 7 days. And that's pretty much where we end the chapter off with him and Sister Lily teleporting away. And I'm actually really interested in seeing what he means by Judgment Days coming in 7 days, because there's possibly billions of people on the planet in the Black Clover universe. How does he plan on converting all those people into true humans in just 7 days? I mean, I'm guessing because of the fact that rituals have played a big part of the Black Clover in the final parts of the arcs ever since the beginning of the series, that there's going to be some kind of ritual involved in this one, and I guess that's what we're going to be spending the next 7 days on for the good guys, them trying to figure out exactly what their ritual is and how to stop it. And I'm guessing more than likely Nox's going to have some kind of knowledge or some kind of insight on what that ritual might be, or at the very least he's going to be the one to come up with the idea of going back to the Spade Kingdom and going to the like home chamber or the devil ritual chamber that the Zogratis family use for their binding summonings, and basically looking at the tablets there in order to study up on what exactly Lucius is planning on doing. But anyway guys, that's it for this week's chapter. This was another solid 10 out of 10 chapter for me, in my opinion. I've been loving everything Tabata's been doing since he got back for the 3-month hiatus, and I'm just looking forward to seeing what happens next. I mean, especially since everyone is now in full dread because Asta, their golden boy, is completely, as far as they're aware, dead. And exactly how they're planning on moving forward from here. I know Noel is going to take this hard. I know we're going to eventually get to see Yuno's reaction to this, and I know he's going to take it hard, not only the fact that Sister Lily was converted into this true human, but apparently she was the one who technically killed Asta. And on top of that, I'm actually really looking forward to seeing exactly how the rest of the Black Wolves react to finding out that Asta is quote-unquote dead, because Asta's a character that they all come to know and love. I mean, before he joined, they were kind of friends. I mean, they were definitely a squad, but they weren't exactly that close. And then after he joined, they became pretty much a true family. So finding out the person that actually brought them all together like that is dead. I mean, we saw how they reacted back when Asta just couldn't use his arms anymore. They all jumped in to find a way to fix them. And I have no doubts that they're going to do the same thing when they find out that he's not actually dead, but stuck somewhere else. They're going to all jump in and basically try to find a way to bring him back. But anyway, that's going to do it for me, guys. Thanks for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please drop me a like, subscribe to the channel. I would greatly appreciate that. Comment down below your thoughts on the chapter, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.